What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez. I am back with another day. I didn't bring you a new day. I didn't invent the day, but I am back on this new day. Happy Friday to everybody. As always, I hope this finds you doing well and in good spirits as we gear up for another Player Prop Talk live here on the stream. Happy Friday to everybody. Hope your Thursday went well. I hope your props did you well. I hope you made profit. We ate in the Discord yesterday, per usual, but we'll be going over that today, going over a few slips. We got our giveaway to go. We have our giveaway to get to as well. Only 4 comments on that post. I was expecting a little bit more, but nonetheless, we'll spin the wheel twice today, and we'll give out two $5 prizes. I don't know. We'll just give out $10 today, $5 to 2 people. We'll go over some player prop talk questions and break some stuff down and chop it up and do all the good things. And hopefully today we'll continue some momentum into the weekend. Hope everybody is doing well. And let's get this going. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, over 10% of the U.S. population dies in their sleep every single day. You did not, because if you're hearing this and seeing this, you did not die in your sleep. So that means you are awake. You are alive. Well, just because you're awake doesn't mean you're alive. It just means you're awake. So do something today that makes you feel alive within the law. Within the law. Don't do some crazy shit. Don't pin that shit on me. But yeah, do something cool today. All right, let's get this going. So last stream, I threw a quote on the screen that that I came up with. Just something that I kind of stick to and live by. Here's another one. Want to share this with you all before we get into our stream, because we're always talking about our research. We're always talking about the more we know, the better slips we build, the better research we conduct. Knowledge is power, but the application of knowledge is powerful. So simply just knowing shit doesn't mean you are powerful. It just means you know shit. Until you start applying it, you're really wasting it. So reading a bunch of books, great. Go do something with that knowledge. You learned a second language. Cool. Go do something with that second language, So whatever skill set you're bringing to the table and you're building on, make sure you're applying it. It just goes to waste. A lot of people, I do this sometimes. I've done this in the past, but anything you try to do and get better at, you need to put it to practice. So that's where the true power is, in my opinion. I tell you what's not powerful though. Turds are not powerful. Well, depending on what you ate the night before, can be pretty powerful the next day. However, these turds are not powerful turds of the day. So any turd, any player, any slip, any coach, any organization that chalked your slip, that made you feel a little something yesterday, throw it in the chat. Who was that person? Who was that prop? What was that prop that cost you a bag? Maybe you still got a bag. Maybe the bag is just a little lighter though, because said player didn't do their thing. So maybe your turd is Derek White. Maybe you went all in on Derek White yesterday after his big game 1. Maybe you faded some Cavs yesterday. Disturbing trend happening in Boston. This is now the second consecutive round, right? Second consecutive round where they've dropped game 2 and just got the shit kicked out of them. They did bounce back in Miami and then won out, but if this trend continues and they happen to make it into the 3rd round, maybe this is something we look to leverage in the 3rd round. Second game of the series, game 2. I don't know what happens to Boston. They just they flip the switch in the opposite way and they forget how to play basketball. Maybe your turd yesterday was the Boston Celtics. I don't know. Jason Tatum took the over on his rebounds and assists. Needed him to cash that out for me on underdog for a nice, 120 winning, and he didn't. He got stuck at 13. Peyton Pritchard over his rebounds, hooked it at 2. So them being sat down with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter definitely did not help anything. I guess I'll stick with the Boston Celtics. Those are my turds for the day, for yesterday. What is going on, Shy? Good morning to you. JR, what is up, brother? Let's get this bag blessed. Freaky Friday. 6 Char, what is up? Happy Friday. Canadian Dad, good morning, gang. JR says, turd of the day, the Boston Celtics. I didn't even read your comment. I was just talking about my personal opinion on the Celtics. Funny that you feel the same way. Fuck Celtics as a staff record label. They're still my team, but yeah, yesterday they just didn't do shit. Kyrie's threes when Luka and THJ are dropping are no go. So funny yesterday. Yesterday I probably came across Luka Doncic under 3.5 3-pointers made on 3 or 4 different write-ups across the industry. Different publications were really on the under. And the first thing he does is go out there and knock down 3 threes in the first quarter. Definitely the first half. I don't know if it was the first quarter. I think he finishes with 5. Great example of when they zig, you zag. I just feel like I see a lot of that when it's too heavy. When it's too heavy, it almost is unappealing because too many people want to play. It makes it feel like, oh, I don't know how to explain that. And it's definitely not a strategy. It's just a feeling, but it's one that I've seen happen a lot, and it's almost like you just do the opposite. So there is an example of that. If you faded the Luka 3-point prop or took the over on it, then you saved money or you made money. No joke there. Yeah, Celtics, I think we can agree. Celtics, just gross. Fucking 20-point loss at home. I think the only things that benefit from a Celtics loss at home are the bars outside of TD Garden. There's this, I don't know if you've ever been to Boston, if you've ever gone to a Celtics game, but it's just surrounded by just bars and pubs. So I'm sure you just go after the game and either celebrate or drown your sorrows. But either way, I'm sure those bars made money last night, especially if you're losing. You're just drinking more, probably talking shit and drinking more and talking shit. Looking like a House of Pain video in there. Let's move on to some better news. So yesterday in the Discord, we had a great day. We ate. We typically do eat. Some days are just better than others, and yesterday was one of those days that really stood out. So I want to share some winning slips over in the Discord yesterday. Starting here, maybe not here. Maybe here. Yeah. So something I've been really trying to do is just play the best value on the board. It doesn't have to be that same day. So sometimes a slip doesn't go final for a couple of days. And if that's, the case, then I'm cool with that. I don't have a problem putting in a slip that covers 3 or 4 days. If a game doesn't, or a soccer game or a UFC fight, I got to wait till the weekend. That's okay, because I'm locking in the best plays. So sometimes you see slips in Discord that are a few days old, but it's because you're trying to lock in that value early. And so that's the case here. T posted his winning slips here. Reptilian Bird Brain with the 2-pick hit. Nice 3x cash over on PrizePicks. Ramirez comes through. Was looking a little dicey there, but he comes through. Later in the game, Sonny Gray got absolutely mauled yesterday. taking the under on his fantasy score was the play. There's Damian with a nice 5 out of 6 hits on kind of a risky slip there, going demon on both. I'm going demon on Gafford and a few NHL plays there. Nice little 4 pick there. G Money Holiday fucked up the Goblin slip. If you played the Goblin promo on PrizePicks, then it's basically you hit your I don't know if it was a sweep. I think you just had to win the slip, and anything that profits is considered a win. So if you win your slip, then you get a free $20 entry. So the payout on the Goblin slips are very bad, but they make it up to you by giving you a free entry, so we had that. A couple of nice underdog hits here. We played this one over in the premium. This was a slip that I gave out Tatum and Jalen Williams and Aaron Wiggins, but then G Money took it a step further and just took the Jalen Williams and Aaron Wiggins and teamed it up with that Kyrie promo and cashed. So we're cashing. There's an underdog slip right there. There's the Aaron Wiggins, Jalen. Aaron Wiggins was my write-up of the day yesterday. Took the over on his 10.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Oof, man, it was bad. It looked bad. He hit the last minute free throws. I don't care how it gets done. Nice 6x there. Another 6x there. A couple esports play, teaming that up with a PGA. Nice second half slip there, going under on Derek White and Jaylen Brown, taking the over on Mitchell threes. This was a second half play that I put in yesterday, basically just playing the same plays. You see a lot of the same players in these slips. No need to get cute. Going under on Brown, going under on White, taking the over on Peyton Pritchard, over on Mitchell, and then over on Garland. Barely missed the 10x here with this esports play. Another one, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander kind of effed up that one. Maybe I'm the stupid one for taking the under on his fantasy score, but I didn't see 60 points from him, 60 fantasy points from him. There's the Aaron Wiggins fantasy score play because I like the over on his PRA, so why not? Just a lot of winning slips. Better slip is a great example of putting in a slip and having to wait for it. So having to wait for that Al Horford taking the under on his PRA, just thought that was too high. And the rest of these plays were from the same game. So once these 4 plays hit, I just needed Al Horford to tuck us in, and he did that yesterday. So nice $100 win there. And we just keep winning, and we just keep eating in the Discord. So I try my best to give out the best plays for free in my free section, but that's only a small portion. You're giving out 20 to 25 picks every day, 15 plus slips every day. What you see in the free section is just a little bit of what we do. So it was fun yesterday. It was a fun day. I'm ready to get it going today. I'm ready to talk some player props. I'm ready to get this day going. If you have any interest in joining the Discord, if you don't want to join for a month, if you don't want to join for a year, consider joining for a week and 3 days. 10-day pass, $1 a day, $9.99. As you saw, you made your money back yesterday. If you paid for a month yesterday, you made your money back. So if you paid for a year yesterday, you made your money back. Just on 5 slips, you made your money back. So it is that easy. It is that quick. It's not every day that you're getting $400, $500 in winnings, but over the course of the long haul, it adds up real fast. So yeah, hit me up in the Discord if you want to spin the wheel over in the Discord for a week or so. I'll get you set up. Speaking of spinning the wheel, let's get into our giveaway. We got 4 comments for members who left a comment. Appreciate y'all, the engagement, the support on the giveaway. It's free money. Why wouldn't you just leave a comment? Easy, so easy, so easy. Maybe next giveaway we'll have more comments. I'm sure these 4 individuals don't give a shit about more people, because the less people, the better chance they have to win. So let's get this going. So the question for the giveaway was pretty simple question. Out of the 8 remaining NBA teams in the playoffs, which one gets eliminated first and how soon? So that's it. Name your team and how many games will it take for them to get eliminated. We had Big T leave a comment. He says Denver's out in 5. There's a gnat in here. Pacers in 6. That's from 2LA. Vibes says Pacers in 5. He's like, I got you, and I can do one better. It's like the price is right? Like $100 and 1 penny. Pacers in 5. And then MIC, Mike, Maps in 5. That should say Mavs. that is the brilliant autocorrect who's like, oh, I know you meant to write Maps. It should say Mavs in 5. So there are the 4 entries. There are the 4 comments. We're going to spin this wheel twice. That means 50% of these will hit for a $5 giveaway. And just like last time, I'll need you to shoot me over a message in the Discord. Give me your Cash App, your Venmo, whatever, and then I'll send you $5. That easy. So let's do it. Let's spin the wheel. Wheel spin number 1. All right, first winner is Big T. I thought that was gonna land on 2LA. Big T, $5. That's coming to you, man. Hit me up. All right, so let's go ahead and take Big T off the board. Now we got 3 left. Let's spin it again. Need some music here. Vibes. All right, man. Pacers in 5. So there are 2 winners right there. Big T, Vibes. Hit me up in the Discord. Shoot me your Cash App, your Venmo, whatever you use, and I'll shoot you $5. Use it towards your protected play today. Hopefully you could turn that 5 into a 25x or 10x. Hopefully you can double it, triple it, just make money off of it. All right. Giveaway complete. And let's do this. Let's talk some plays today. Today is Friday, May 10th, 2024. We're talking Prize Picks, Underdog, Jock Market, Sleeper, Better, Sports Quack, Quackenbush. I don't know what that book is. If you play on the Duck Sports book, let me know what the real name is. I call it all sorts of shit. Yeah, wherever you play, it doesn't matter. Throw your question in the chat. Tell me where you played at. Otherwise, I'm going to assume it's on Prize Picks. Tell me where you played at play. Doesn't matter where you play it in terms of research, because we'll be using props.cash to break everything down here on the stream. If you are new to the stream, then props.cash is what we use on a daily basis to break everything down. If you have an interest in using props.cash after seeing it used in real time, we use it in real time. So hold off on signing up for props.cash, but there's my promo code. So after we use it in real time, you like what you see, you like how everything gets broken down, you want to check it out for yourself, that's my promo code. Thanks 25 to get you 25% off your first month. Very easy to use. But if you don't like props.cash, then fuck it. Don't sign up. That easy. That easy. So we're going to pull up the Prize Picks dashboard and get this going. Like I mentioned, we're talking player props on all pick'em sites. However, the reason I use the reason I use Prize Picks on the stream is because A, it looks better, it's easier to navigate, and it presents well on screen. That's it. That's it. So it is kind of like our home page for player props. But wherever you play, let me know in the chat, and let's throw some plays in there. Let's throw some props in there, and let's get this going. Let's get this going, ladies and gentlemen. JR says, I felt that with Tatum's rebounds yesterday. Everyone was on it, so I went under. Yeah, if you're just joining the stream, we were just talking about when they zig, you zag. Luka Doncic under threes was a zig. You could have zagged on that one because he hit 5. A lot of publications and a lot of people were on the under. So that's another example that Tatum's a good one as well. What's up, AOD? Let's fucking go. Vibes is in the house. Chavez is the man of the people. What's up, Meech? What's up, Meech? Is that you, Divine? I see the yer. It's a Northeast thing, right? That's a New York thing. I know you have to say it a certain way. It's not your. I think you have to pronounce it a certain way. Drip, there's Divine. All right, so Drip is Divine. Meech, you're new, Meech. I've not seen you in the stream before. Let me know if you're new. Throw a question in the chat. I'll make sure I get to yours ASAP just to say thanks for stopping by and checking this shit out, man. Hit the like button on your way in. Have yet to mention that. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the likes. All that goes a long way in helping this channel get bigger every day. All right, so where do we start? Also, because I have the WNBA pulled up, I created a 6-pick WNBA future slip on PrizePicks. I'm gonna throw that in the premium as well. I may throw it in a freemium, but definitely I'll throw it in a premium. The season hasn't started yet, so now is the time to lock in some futures and get a little bit more invested in the WNBA. We'll have WNBA, we'll have MLB, we'll have esports. We'll have enough to carry us over the dog days of summer. All right. Let's get this going. 2LA says, can we talk about how my boy Kyrie never looked back since I called the over on 1.5 steals and blocks? Does he is he just racking up the steals and blocks? Yeah. 4. What if he's watching the stream? Kyrie, if you're watching the stream, which would be incredibly weird, but if you are watching the stream, can you DM me and be a sponsor on my channel, and we can work out some contracts? Appreciate that. He is definitely catching them steals. All right. So let's go over to the NBA tab. And I have yet to look at the popular plays, but here they are. None of them are like really just, oh, I got to play this one. Got to be honest with you. I'm not really seeing anything that's just screaming out to me amongst the popular plays. There is a PRA that I do like a lot, and it is the TJ McConnell over 19.5 PRA. We'll talk about this. I wrote him up 2 days ago for his points and assists at 14.5. He crushes that. There are a lot of reasons to like TJ McConnell, especially in the playoffs where that rotation has gotten, tighter, and he is he's kind of a starter, and he's doing it with Halliburton. He doesn't need Halliburton to be injured or out in order to produce. So he is definitely in play for me. It's a loud ass car driving through. There's kids out there. Slow down. All right. What else we got? I like this TJ McConnell. I really like this one. Guys are looking for a couple esports plays. I'll give you a couple esports plays if they're still on the board. Now, you don't have to use these plays that I'm giving out as a slip. You can just use them in a slip. But a couple esports plays that I wrote up earlier and threw them in the Discord, and they're probably off the board by now. I think the games have already started. So yeah, how I do my picks is I do my best to get the plays out early in the night before. So once these games settle, and now that esports is starting to have a bigger presence, I try to get these plays out the night before. And they're typically like your esports, your PGA, tennis plays, that shit. Those are in the premium. Then in the morning, I hit up the MLB, NBA, and then that kind of completes the picks for the day. So by the time I get up in the morning, sometimes these esports plays are no longer on the board, but they've been up there for about 10 hours. Pepzar, over 24.5 maps, map 1-2 kills. This has been bumped up. This was at 24, now it's at 26. So yeah, that's a great example of that. So if you're interested in esports plays or just, you know, extra plays, that's all in the premium section of the cord. All right, so forget the esports players. Never mind. Josh Hart. So Josh Hart on underdog. Well, Josh Hart on PrizePicks had a rebound prop of 12.5. That's been bumped up to 13. Let's look at it at 13. Now, I really liked it at 12.5 last game, and you know he went out there and got that for you. I don't think this is a fluke. I don't think this is just because Mitchell Robinson's out. We've been seeing this for a really long time. So as long as he's on the court, he's gonna do everything. At 13, he needs 14. It is a bit of a higher number, but he's definitely shown you that he can get it done. Looking at that one, I wonder if this PGA play is still on the board. It was a birdies are better for Keegan Bradley, and wow, that was weird. Keegan and Peel. So it was a 3.5 birdies or better play. I think it was just birdies. But it was at 3.5, which was the lowest line I saw on all the pick'em sites, and that's not on the board. So that looking really good. Gordon under 3-pointers made. Let's take a look at that one. He was about the only thing that was working right for the Nuggets in that game, and all of it was in the first half. I mean, he really didn't do anything in the second half. Minnesota just really controlled that game from start to finish. That was really sad to watch. It was like watching your favorite fighter just get his ass kicked or her ass kicked. And like they're old and slow, and they should have like called it quits. Like, I'm not saying the Nuggets are old and slow, but comparing the energy and the pace between the two teams, they looked like the older, slower team. They looked like the inexperienced team. It was really bad to watch. That was a terrible, terrible product on the court. Hopefully it changes in game 3. Hopefully we see some fights. Hopefully we see some fight left in these dogs. KCP under 1.5 rebounds if still available. What's up, T? I don't know if I said what's up to you this morning. You won in the giveaway, but I don't know if I actually greeted you this morning. Good morning. The Suns are expected to hire Mike Budenholzer as their new head coach. Okay. That just came through. Who are we looking at? Pope? Now, was this a goblin when you looked at it? I don't know if it was a normal line and then PrizePicks decided to nerf it up. But we'll take a look at that. What else we got? All right, you got McConnell. We have Hart. We have Gordon. We have Pope. Is Rudy Gobert playing today? I know the birth of his first child, that was a pretty big deal. So that's the reason he didn't play last game. But it's not even like they need him out there. And the way they've been playing, I mean, he can just take the series off and shit. So questionable is Jamal Murray, Tyrese Halliburton, Brunson, Pope, Caldwell Pope, and Reggie Jackson. OG is out and Mitchell Robinson is out. So with OG out and Robinson out, we haven't even looked at this cat, but triple double alert for Isaiah Hartenstein yesterday or Wednesday. Hartenstein. You got to channel your inner Doris Burke, your Hartenstein. I think he was 2 assists away from a triple double, something like that. He crushed. Now his PRA is at 27.5. I played the under at 22.5 in their first game. It has been bumped to the 27.5 since. As long as he can stay out of foul trouble, this guy's going to be on the court. He fits so well into that offense and what they're doing. I know Precious Achiuwa is going to play some big minutes today without OG in there, but it shouldn't really hurt Hartenstein unless he gets into foul trouble. So maybe taking a look at his PRA, and then from there we can kind of take a look at the rebounds and points and see if anything is sticking out to us. Maybe see if there's a sample size to look at for him without OG and Robinson on the floor. See if there's anything we can find that makes this play stand out. Let's see. 2LA says Nembhard over 3.5 assists is a lock. And then JR wants to take a look at Brunson under 35. He's definitely not 100%. They talked about this. I don't know. Was it JJ Redick? But they just talked about the pace of play. Or maybe it was Stephen A. or Wilbon. I don't know. But they just talked about how many minutes these guys have been playing. And New York plays slower. So, there's a difference between playing 44 minutes and the pace of play is like a grind out kind of pace. And then playing the Pacers and it's like a very up-tempo pace. That's a different kind of 44 minutes, and so the fatigue starts to set in at some point. You would think that these dudes, are going to be tired at some point, but honestly, the only reason Jalen Brunson didn't go over his props was because he missed 6-7 minutes of game time when he hurt his ankle. That's it. And that guy was on pace to go over, especially when he got back. He just kind of picked up. So yeah, but after hurting your ankle, you're kind of playing on adrenaline, you're kind of playing on whatever drugs they throw into your body at halftime. But a couple days later, the soreness really starts to set in, the swelling starts to set in, and then that's when the true recovery happens. So it's possible, at least for the first half. And he's still trying to work things out. Well, you could take a look at the under on his points at 35.5 because that is a pretty hefty line. So we got Hardenstein over, for now. We'll make a case for it. Brunson, Pope, Gordon, Hart, and then TJ McConnell. So let's start with Gordon and Pope, Caldwell Pope, and then we'll dip into the other four because they're all in the same game. And that should make for the breakdown a much easier breakdown, more streamlined process. If you're just joining the stream, we just kind of created a 6-pick based off player cues in the chat, and we're going to break these down and start researching over on props.cash. If you've never seen props.cash used in real time, stick around because we use it every day on the stream. If after seeing this used in real time, you like it, you want to try it out for yourself, use my promo code thanks25 to receive 25% off your first month on props.cash. All this information's in my stream description. So if you missed what I just said, just take a gander at the description. All right. If Gobert plays today, he's definitely not questionable or anything like that. So I assume he plays today. Does Naz Reid take a hit? All right, so we're looking at Aaron Gordon's threes. Now, this is a sweaty prop because he typically doesn't shoot a lot of threes. He's not a high volume 3-point shooter. If you look at that last game against Minnesota, it's definitely the outlier. It's the only game over his last 10 games, including playoff games, that he made more than one. Usually good for 2 to 3, so he needs to make one. Now, the odds on this one are not gross. Slight juice to the under on FanDuel, but DraftKings has it split. Caesars likes the over. BetMGM has it slightly to the under, and then PointsBet has it split. So again, we've all played props that were way worse than this. Projection is 1, so that's a favorable data point. There's really not a whole lot to look into with this one. He's not a guy who shoots a lot of threes, but if he's open and he's spotting up in the corner, they're probably going to find him, and there's a 33% chance he makes it. He's a 3-point shooter. I'm trying to say this shit. He shoots 3 threes per game. He just needs to make one. So we need him to be a 33% 3-point shooter today. It's within his range. So you want to throw that in a flex. I don't know if I throw it in a power play, but I throw it in a flex. I wish it was a demon prop because then you get the double pay on that one, or the payout increase. But I don't think that's a bad one. I definitely don't think that's a bad one. All right, we're going to look at Caldwell Pope's rebounds. Now, this has been nerfed. I don't know if it was at 1.5 on the reg and then it got nerfed, or if it's always been at a goblin. But we're looking at 1.5. So 1.5 looks like a pretty clean play here, having missed this in just 2 of his last 10. He is projected for 3. He has the upside of 4. Doesn't look like he's going to get you more than 4 on most nights. Against the Minnesota Timberwolves, 4 is his ceiling. He's gotten you 3 quite a few times, but not 5. So anything over 4 looks like a bit of a reach. That 1.5 looks pretty safe to me. Now, if you use this in a slip, because it's a goblin, I don't know if you want to throw a demon in there to offset that soft payout, but at least with a demon in there, it'll increase the payout boost. So it gives you the opportunity to make some of that money back, if that makes sense. But this one does make sense in terms of playing the over on 1.5 rebounds for Caldwell Pope. That one looks solid. let's start looking at these rebounds for Josh Hart. So set to 13 on PrizePicks, been bumped from 12.5 to 13. At 13.5, I'm not saying he can't get you I'm not saying he can't get you 14, but at 13.5, there is no push potential there. When this was at 12.5, this one was looking pretty solid. This is all against Indiana. So let's just look at his last 10 games. Over 12.5 was looking pretty solid here, having missed this in just 40% of his games. At 13, you're going to see a little bit more gray in there. So we're going to remove 2 overs and make them push. And that leaves you with 4 overs, 2 push, 4 unders. He's projected for 12.128 rebounds today. I kind of don't even pay attention to the projections for him, because he's proven that projections really don't apply to him. He just go out there and do whatever the hell he wants. Caesars likes the over at 12.5, as does DraftKings at 13.5. You're getting some really wonky odds on BetMGM, but FanDuel does clearly like the under at 13.5. So while it's at 13, you do have a bit of a discount, and that's on PrizePicks, okay? If you wanted to play this on Underdog, I'm just going to try to pull this up and see if it is on Underdog. It's at 13, so it may have just been bumped up to 13 on all pick'em sites. So 13 looks to be the lowest line you're going to find. I think you play it at 13. So let's take out OG. Let's just see if anything changes. So these are all this season without OG on the floor and without Mitchell Robinson on the floor. The sample size it's all this season, so we don't have to go back to last season. The sample size is small and his average is suppressed, but look at the upside. The upside is huge. 18, 19 rebounds in these games. So yeah, there are a lot of games, 5 of them, that where he didn't get the over. But that's hard to ignore. And that is definitely possible against this Pacers team. So I like it at 13. I'm not saying he gets you 18. I'm just saying this is what he does when people are not on the court. When people are hurt, he has that upside. All right, Jalen Brunson under points. So let's figure out what we want to do with this at 35.5. I honestly feel the only reason he didn't get this over was because of the ankle. But if it's something, and this is not new, I think he's had foot injuries and foot problems and ankle problems and shit like that. So this is not anything new to him. He's projected for 41 points. That's a lot of points. FanDuel likes the over slightly, as does DraftKings. Caesars really likes the under, and BetMGM likes the under, but giving you -120 for the over. So it just kind of feels like it's like people are scared to take the under. Like, oh, fuck that. I'm not going to touch that. I'll give you 120 odds to the over. So it is kind of a coin flip. I guess it just really depends on his injury and how his health is. But we do know that he is capable of 50 plus in a game. 36 seems reasonable. If you're looking to take the under, you're definitely banking on him not being 100%, and even his mobility and like his acceleration being limited by that ankle. There are no games played for Jalen Brunson without Jalen Brunson on the court. I meant to click on OG. There you go. So with no OG Anunoby, all these games are from this season. So with no OG Anunoby on the floor, he's only gone over this in one game, and he pretty much doubled it up. Without OG and Mitchell Robinson, what does that look like? What's the reason behind this? He has yet to go over this point prop with both of those dudes off the floor. Is it pick and roll shit? Is it, what's going on here? What am I missing? If you're a student of the game and you see, if you see like a trend here between these two sample sizes, let me know. All I know is that he's 0 for 10 in games played without those two guys on the floor. And he's 1 for 9 with OG off the floor. Not saying he can't have a good game. I mean, maybe 3-pointers made and rebounds and assists are the best lines to attack without OG on the floor. But in terms of his points and PRA, those are looking really bad. Yeah, so all this should make you feel pretty good if you're looking to take the under on his points. We just went over a few different sample sizes here. Doesn't look all that great for Jalen Brunson, but that guy is fucking Superman. All right. TJ McConnell. So PRA 19.5 seems high, right? But he's playing minutes and he's producing, so he's not in there to give Tyrese Halliburton a break and Halliburton's back in there. No, he's in there and he's running the show. He's running the offense. He's like a really, really poor man version of Derek White, or maybe a poor man's Josh Hart. I don't know. But he does a little bit of everything, and he's super active, and he's efficient. So over his last 10 games, this is what he's done. Head-to-head matchup with the Knicks, he's done very well. Now, let's look at the last 5 games. These are definitely all playoff games. In those games, he's averaging 20 points. In those games, he'll continue to see 20+ points. Averaging 11 potential assists in those 5 games, and he's hitting on little less than 70%. Seems a little high. There might be some room for some regression here because you can't expect 12 assists every game, but I think anywhere between 6 to 7. If he got you 6 to 7 assists, got you 9 points. 9.6 assists, that's 15, and he got you 4 rebounds, that's 19. So yeah, he would need a little bit more. He'd either need to get you 10 plus, or he need to get you 7 to 8 assists. But all that is in reach for him. Projected for 23 PRA. You don't need 23 from him, you need 20. I think 20 is in play for him. I think this is a very, very I don't know about it being sneaky anymore, but I don't think a lot of people are on McConnell right now. I think people are really focused on Halliburton's bounce back game, and they're not looking past that. I think McConnell's still in play. And you saw in last game, McConnell had a good game and Halliburton had a great game. They both coexisted on the floor. They both ate. It's possible for both of them to have good games. So I think McConnell's in play today. All right, last play is Hartenstein. I chose to look at Hartenstein because we got OG out, we got Mitchell Robinson out. Now, last 5 playoff games for Hartenstein, he had only gone over that line one time, but I guarantee you this game he went over, because I played him in this game and he went over. So he's 2 for 2 going over his PRA line. His PRA line has been inflated heavily to the level of 27.5. Now let's go ahead and remove Mitchell Robinson, and let's go ahead and remove OG Anunoby. So last 5 games played, these are all games this season. He's giving you an average of 28 PRA, hitting in 4 out of those 5 games. If you want to take it back to the last 10 games, not as good. Although if I had to choose in a 10-game block, I'd rather the last 5 games be where the momentum starts to happen versus the first 5, because it's more relevant. It's closer to the present day. So what I'm seeing here is fine. He is projected for 29.26 PRA, so that is over his line today. I just think the opportunity is going to be there. Again, the one thing that always will mess him up is foul trouble. He had a lot of foul trouble in the first series against Embiid, but it's Embiid. Okay, this game, this series with the Pacers, they're not, I don't think there's anybody in that front court that's going to give him foul trouble. I just don't. So if he can stay in that 3 to 4 foul range, he's going to be on the court for his full run. And I think that'll give you the opportunity to go over that line. Should give you 30 plus minutes, 33, 34. I think that's in play. All right. Give me the under on Brunson. That is very, very telling. Brunson's game logs without OG and Robinson just nosedive. I don't know why. If you know why, tell me. Hardenstein over his 27.5 PRA. Caldwell Pope over this for sure. Gordon's actually in a good spot to go over this. He just needs to make one. He's giving you three-point attempts a game. Josh Hart at 13 is in play. Go find it at 12.5 if you can. But 13 is probably going to be your best line right now on the Pick'em site. And then McConnell over his PRA. So if you ran this slip as is with that Goblin, it does reduce your payout from a 25x to a 17x. However, let me just screenshot these real quick. However, I'm gonna take this Brunson out and throw a demon in there. And so what the demon will do is it'll offset somewhat that payout decrease, but you're still not getting a full payout. On a 6 pick, you should be getting 25. You're still just getting 22. However, where you are going to see the payout differ is if you only get 5 out of 6. Typically, you're only going to get 2x, but because of this lineup, you're going to get a 2.75. So this one probably, it's not terrible. I mean, it's not that bad, but play around with the combinations between these goblins and demons and see if there's a way you can balance it out to where it's not super risky, but you are taking advantage of some of these super low lines like this rebound prop. All right, let's get out of there. Appreciate y'all being on the stream. 28 of y'all. Let's see if we can get 28 likes on this bitch. Fuck Siakam. Let me just scroll back up and see where we left off here. Nimhard. Did I not throw Nimhard up there? My bad. 2 LA. Let's do it. Let's throw him up on the board. My bad. Damn. That must be on the underdog, right? Damn. What's up with all these books? If somebody can tell me where that line is from, I'll cash app you $5. Damn. What's up with all these books? Yeah, I can't find Nimhard at 3.5. 3.5 assists? Was it a goblin and they took it off? Because Nimhard on underdog is Nimhard on the underdog doesn't even have an assist line. Well, hopefully you played. Hopefully you locked it in, because it may have been just that good of a play where their PrizePicks didn't want to leave it up. So good on you. You found that one. Let's see. Is Pascal going off tonight? What's up, Anthony Escudero? I don't know. I do find it interesting that because this game is now in Indiana, that we're starting to see more overs for these guys. I know there's home court advantage. I understand that, but like the matchup's the same, you know, the matchup's the same. And if you're struggling in game 1 and game 2, you might have a better game in game 3 because it's in front of your home crowd, but the matchup is the same. So like whatever's giving you problems, it doesn't just stop giving you problems because you fly across the country. I don't understand like the huge shift. And in a lot of these Knicks players, we're seeing juice heavily in favor of the under on some of these plays because you're changing the venue. Like I'm not so sold on that in the playoffs, to be honest with you. And I think Siakam has just been struggling, and I don't think it has anything to do with he doesn't like playing in New York, you know, like he's just struggling. Maybe OG's giving him problems. Is that it? Was OG just fucking with him in games 1 and 2, and now there's no OG, so now we're looking at the over on his points? It could be something like that. We'll look at it though, because that's a different New York team without OG and Anunoby on the floor. Different new. So really, it just trying to figure out what's been going on with Siakam. He's just really looked bad. I think he misses Kawhi Leonard. Who's calling for his demon? Drip, you like his demon? Says Jokic is going for 30 and 10. They need it. Boy, they really, really need it. I think they can win. I don't think they get swept. That would be crazy. I don't know. Would that be the first time that a defending NBA champion has been swept in the next year's playoffs? Yeah, we looked at Gordon's threes. We got Siakam up there. Siakam is like a 70% chance to go over. They need him to win. Drip, JR says that he thinks that Nuggets get swept. Oh shit. Okay. All right. I don't have a dog in that fight. All right. That'll be some. I wonder if that's making NBA history. Has there ever been a defending NBA champ that's been swept the next year? Is Jalen Brunson out? He's not on FanDuel. He is. What's up, Mr. Cash Out? He's questionable. OG is out. Brunson's questionable. I tell you what, if Brunson is out today, I've never seen so many starters out in playoffs, like just sitting out games in the playoffs. Usually I would think they just gut it out, but we're seeing people sit now in the playoffs. So that's to me, that feels weird. Usually it's when you see people just suck it up, you know, painkillers and like an ice bath. What's going on, Wave Lord? What is up, Damien? Let's see. All right, we'll break it down. Pascal, everybody's on Pascal. OG was locking him up, so that was the reason. Yeah. Who was locking him up in Milwaukee? Who was locking Siakam up in Milwaukee? Let's look at Aaron Gordon. Michael, was it Michael Porter threes? All right. Michael Porter threes, a demon three. Did he get that demon three last time? No. Got it in game 1. Game 2. Nobody did anything in game 2, so that's not surprising. Vibe says, I always love McConnell fantasy lines because they're typically a little lower. And man, he goes, players like him just do so much. When you have a low fantasy line of under like 18 or something like that, those are so fun to take. Oh, Curtis says, what's up, Curtis? Curtis says 2011 Lakers were swept. Okay. Damn. We did the giveaway. Yeah, we did the giveaway this morning. Vibes and Big T won. Yeah, first thing we did, one of the first things we did this morning was the giveaway. Yeah. So Portis was locking Siakam up. It just sounds like it sounds like Siakam doesn't play well against players that are good. So if he needs people to be hurt and not in the lineup in order to produce, I mean, definitely take advantage of it when somebody's out. But I mean, at some point, you just got to stop making excuses for this guy. All right. Yeah, Vibes won again. The shit ain't rigged, man. You're seeing it on the screen. I'm just spinning the wheel. It's not like I'm choosing the name. So, and only 4 people entered. So only 4 people left comments. So if you wanted to win, you should have left a comment. Oh, I didn't see this. Obi Toppin has a good fantasy line. We like Obi Toppin's. What was it? Obi Toppin's points too. It feels like they were just saving him for this series. He has been, I mean, not even the series, just the playoffs. I mean, he's been so good in the playoffs in just his limited role. So you got his points, fantasy score. I tell you what, I'm gonna put his fantasy points up there because that covers everything. 07 Miami Heat were also swept. All right, Curtis Johnson. So maybe not making history, but I think that still will be a headline, right? If the Nuggets get swept in the second round, especially after Jokic winning MVP, it's like I think people maybe just expecting them to win again this season. All right, so we got Siakam, we got Porter, we got Toppin. Did we want to look at McConnell's fantasy? I mean, we did look at his PRA. We like the over on his PRA. His fantasy score is at 24. Let's see if we can get another play in here because we did talk about him a little bit already. But, I mean, if we like the over on his PRA, then fantasy is kind of like in that range. So typically you do see players go over fantasy unless they're turning the ball over a lot. If they go over PRA, fantasy's also in play. Mathurin got hurt. His minutes picked up. You think Pacers will be out in 5? Vibes, you dirty dog. What's going on, True? Says Hardenstein with the double-double, Jokic with the triple-double, and then Brunson what is it? 7 Brunson can rest up 20. What's that last one? What's that one for Brunson? Yeah. All right. All right, let's do this. I'll tell you what. We'll throw McConnell in there. We spend a little bit with fantasy scores, typically spend a little bit more time breaking them down because we have to factor in everything. So let's roll with those. Let's kick it off. I think all these plays are from the same game, except MPJ. So let's look at Siakam. All right, so we got Siakam projected for 19 points roughly at 21.5. BetMGM has this higher than any other book. They like the under, but we don't have to worry about that because PrizePicks has it at 20.5, and they like the over on FanDuel, like the over on DraftKings, and they like the over on Caesars. 125. Little juice coming into the under, but not a ton. Not a ton. This is all head-to-head matchup with the Knicks. So let's go to his last 10 games. Oh, don't do this. There we go. I hate when this happens. My screen gets frozen and it just only filters out like by the team played against. Like, I don't want to look at his last 15 games. I have no idea what's going on with Siakam's statistics today on my laptop. This is just like glitchy. Let's refresh. This happens every once in a while. I think sometimes I just have way too many tabs up on my screen and everything just kind of gets slowed down. Let's give it another shot. There we go. So these are his last 10 games. Regular season and playoffs. Sorry. So this is just what he's done in the last 10 games. So playoffs have not been kind to him. Head-to-head matchup with the Knicks. Now this is last 10 games played, or yeah, last 10 games played against the Knicks. Playoffs and not playoffs. There's not going to be, well, there might be, but I don't know how much we can put into it. I was going to say there's not going to be a big sample size of games played between Siakam and the Knicks without OG because they were teammates. So, yeah, he's not playing against OG when they're in Toronto. But since the trade, they have not played each other a ton. They have not met a lot. So the sample size is basically just these 2 games. 2 games played against the Knicks without OG in the lineup. And he went under. So the projections are never like your end all. If the projections don't look good, that's okay because the odds are what speak louder to me. So we have 2 books that like the over on the 20.5. The minutes are there. Like, minutes are not an issue for him. He's playing a ton of minutes. The field goal attempts are there too. I mean, giving you upwards of 19, 18. Let's make this last 5, because that'll include the first 2 playoff games. So 16 and 18 field goal attempts, 8 and 7, 50%, a little less than 50% here, 39%. Threes are hurting him. Wasn't able to make a 3 last game. I mean, you go 1 for 3, even 2 for 3, your point total looks totally different. Yeah. I mean, no OG there. One less big in the front court, but one less defender to put out there as well. So things are opening up for Siakam at 20.5. It's probably going to get bumped up to 21 at some point. If it's already showing at 21 on certain books, it's only a matter of time before the pick'em sites follow. So if you like it at 20.5, take the over right now at 20.5. That'll be the lowest line you see pretty much all day. All right, TD McConnell, I think we're going to look at his fantasy score. So we already liked his PRA, or at least I liked his PRA. So this is what we'll do. We can look at his projections. I think the projections are a little inflated, to be honest with you. So those might be a little generous. I like taking a more conservative approach with the fantasy score, because if we get close to that over, or we do get the over with a very conservative approach, it gives us more upside in the event that player has a good game or a better game. So odds on his points in favor of the over. But let's say he goes out there and gets you 10. Rebounds today in favor of the over, gets you 3, so that's 13.6. Assists look good for the over, so that's 6. That's 9 fantasy points. That's 22.6. Steals and blocks don't look like he's going to get you a too many today, but let's say he gets you 1 steal and block, and that puts him at 25 plus fantasy points. And then he's not going to turn the ball over a lot. If he turns it over 1 time, that puts him a little over 24, which is over on PrizePicks. If he turns the ball over 2 or more times, it's going to bring him down below that 24 fantasy mark. And if that's the case, then he's definitely going to have to get you at least 11 points to make up for that. So we took a very conservative approach, and you landed right over 24 points with 1 turnover. Now, if you feel like, oh, he's going to go out there and get you 8 assists, even better. You feel like he's going to go out there and get you an extra rebound or 2 extra points, even better. So I think his fantasy points are in play. I think they're shaping up well. Obi Toppin's fantasy points, we want to look at those because his fantasy points are under 20 at 19.5. Fantasy points, you don't have to get the whole number. If its fantasy point is at 19.5, he doesn't have to get you 20. He has to get you 19.6. Anything over 19.5 is the over. It's not like PRA where you have to go over by the whole number. So if you look at his points today, he is favored to go over these. Let's take the conservative approach. Let's say he goes out there and gets you just 10 points. Okay, to expect 20 points every game, I don't think that's reasonable. But let's say he goes out there and gets you 10 points. Goes out there and gets you 4 rebounds. That's 14.8. Goes out there and gets 1 assist. That's 15.8, 16.3. And then he gets you a steal. That's 19.3, but at 225 to the over. Let's say he gets you 2 steals. That's 22.3 points, minus 1 turnover. So with the turnovers, it's like between 18 and 22 fantasy points. That's a very conservative breakdown. In the event he goes out there and gets you 12 points, he should cruise. If he gets you 12 or more points, he should cruise. As long as he's not turning the ball over, And as long as his minutes don't get messed around with, if he continues to give you 20 minutes a game, then he'll have every opportunity to get the over on this one. So I like that one. I don't know if I'd play them both in the same lineup. You could. All right, let's look at Michael Porter's threes. So we got to play his demon threes on PrizePicks because they're not giving you a regular line. Averaging 2.5 threes in this series so far. He needs 4. He did it in the first game. Didn't do it in the second game. Numbers against Minnesota. Historically, he's giving you 4 more times than he's giving you 1. So he's hit 4, 3, 6 times. He's giving you 1 or less in 3 games. So there's your like range there. It is cool that he's hit 4 exactly in all these games, not more, just right at 4. At 2.5, the over on FanDuel's in play. DraftKings, Caesars. It's not enough juice to say, oh, they're projecting him for 3 or 4. The juice is right in alignment with just like 3. So he goes over with 3 based off these odds. So in order for him to get you 4, he just needs to have a better game. In that last game, he played 39 minutes. He shot 12 times. He was 4 for 12, which is only 33% from the field. He was 1 for 7. I mean, you got to go back to last season against Minnesota where he didn't knock down at least 2 threes. Just overall, his last 10 games, I mean, he has the upside. 6 of 10, 5 of 7, 4 of 7. All those get it done today. 33% was by far the lowest percentage he's had from the field in the last 10 games. So it feels like that was just a really bad off game for him. I wouldn't expect him to have as bad of a game, but you definitely need him to come out and pick it up a little bit if he's going to get you 4 or more threes. And it's a demon, so it's a payout boost. So if you happen to play it in a slip, then you're going to get more money. So for instance, if you were going to play this in a slip, just a 4-pick, which typically does not give you good odds, but your 4-pick usually gives you a 5x on a flex. Because of that demon prop in there, it goes all the way up to 11, which that's pretty good odds. If you played the power, it goes from a 10 to a 15, 16. I can't read that, but you see the difference in payouts with the demon in there. And again, the demon does not have to hit in order for you to get the payout boost. You can, if you played this in a flex, you could go 3 for 4, and the only one that doesn't hit is Michael Porter Jr., and you still get the 1.5 payout. If you were going to put this in the flex, honestly, I would just throw one in there to make it an even 5. Like, it doesn't matter. Let's just throw Josh Hart in there for the 5. And now this gets boosted from a 10x to an 18x. Which is just a little bit more worth your while. All right. Damian says, Josh Hart fantasy looks good. He's playing 40 tonight. He's averaging 43 minutes. Josh Hart is just, he's in the perfect city for this kind of, his style of play is perfect for New York. All right. Josh Hart's fantasy score is at 43. All right, since fantasy score is up, man, I don't really see any other fantasy score that I like the over on. Maybe Jokic. Jokic's fantasy score was over 60 for the first 2 games, and now it's under 60. If you think he goes out there and gets you 30 and 10, let's take a look at his fantasy score, because right there, that's 42 fantasy points. If you think he goes out there and gets you 10 assists, that's 45 fantasy points. The odds on his points right now are favoring the over. They're favoring the over at 28.5. They're at 29.5. So then we have to look at DraftKings, Caesars. Caesars likes the over. DraftKings doesn't. So 29 points. If he gets you 28 points, he goes out there and gets you 12 rebounds. That's 15. 15 plus 28 is 43. 9 assists, that's 13.5. That's 50. 6.5. 59.5. He cannot turn the ball over. So I guarantee you that if he turns the ball over 7 times, he's not going over fantasy score. 3 to 4 is his range. This breakdown that we're doing now, he's at 59 fantasy points. If he turns the ball over 4, that takes him down to 55. So he definitely needs to compensate turnovers with something else, whether it's an extra block or steal, or just giving you 30. That was a very conservative breakdown on him, but if he wanted to just live a little bit more free, then he goes out there and gets you 29 points. He gets you 13 rebounds. $13 times 1.2 plus 29 points. There's 44.6. All right, he gets you 10 assists plus 15. There's 59.6. He gets you 1 block. Was it 1 block or steal or 2? He gets you 1 block or steal. -4 turnovers. That's 58.6. The turnovers are going to hurt his fantasy score. If you're looking to go over on his fantasy score, he's going to turn the ball over. We just can't have him turn the ball over 7 times. And if he's going to turn the ball over 4 times, then he has to give you an extra block or steal, or just go way over 30 points. Maybe that one doesn't look as good as I thought, but it's definitely lower than it was in the first 2 games. Josh Hart over fantasy points. All right, so 17, 12, and 6. If you just look at these odds, or excuse me, if you just looked at his projections, these correlate well with the odds. So 17 points, that's what his projection is, and that's what his odds are. I would say that he goes over this based off these odds and his rebounds. So he's projected for 13. 13 times 1.2. Why can't I remember what it is? 15.6. 15.6 plus 17. That's 32.6. 32.6 plus 9 is 41.6. Plus 6, that's 47.6 minus turnovers. Oof. At 47.6 fantasy points between PRA and steals and blocks. If Josh Hart turned the ball over 5 times, he's under. If Josh Hart turned the ball over 4 times, he's over by 0.6. If Josh Hart turns the ball over 3 or fewer, he should cruise over this line. The turnovers are what's going to hurt all the fantasy scores. If you have a high usage player, you already know the turnovers are going to be there. You just can't have them turning the ball over 7 times. If he turns the ball over 5 times, Josh Hart has to get you more than 17 points. He needs to get you 18 to 19 points with 5 turnovers. That should balance it out. But at 43, it's in play. I don't even know if I like that Jokic fantasy score as much anymore after kind of breaking it down. If he goes out there and just doesn't turn the ball over at all, that's a completely different story. But 5 to 7 turnovers is really going to hurt his upside. It's possible for him to get a triple double and not come close to fantasy score. Like we've seen it happen a lot. Brunson is out tonight. Oh, really? I see OG, Mitchell Robinson out. Murray, Halliburton, Brunson, Pope, and Reggie Jackson. I don't see him out yet. I don't see him out yet. I'm not playing Siakam today. That's just personal. That's just like my personal play is. It has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that if in my research, if a player isn't grading out well, I just don't play them. Like I'm not trying to get cute or beat anybody to the punch. It just if it's not pulling up any positive data for me, I don't play it. Sometimes it's not about who you play. Sometimes it's just about what you don't play that helps you make bankroll. So, but for those of y'all who are playing Siakam, I hope he goes over his points for you. I hope he helps you win for sure. All right, let me screenshot these two. Yeah, I don't see any updated injury news right now in the NBA. So as far as I know, as far as I see, Brunson is still questionable. And that's about it for the Q tags. Yeah, Damian, Brunson is definitely not probable. He's still questionable. Man, what a completely different series this is without Brunson. If he does not play today, that has to be that's a very serious injury for him to not play today. So it's Like the Jared Allen rib injury. We keep talking about this shit. This dude is not playing for the rest of the year, and they're not going to come out and say that. He probably has a broken rib, which you're not playing with a broken rib. If they make it to the NBA Finals, maybe you play with a broken rib, or maybe it's healed enough by then, but you can't even breathe with a broken rib. How the fuck are you going to go out there and get hit in the chest just going up for a rebound? So in order for someone to not play, I think the injury has to be really, really serious. Porzingis should be back in a couple of games, but we knew that when they announced him being out, they literally wrote expected to miss the next few games. So there is no guessing game with that. We already know he's going to be out for the next, 4 games. But Jared Allen not playing game over game, and now Brunson doesn't play today. That injury might be really bad. Should be a fun ass game to watch if you take the overs on like DiVincenzo fantasy points, Hart fantasy points. Maybe find some lines on Precious Achua, Hartenstein. That shit might be fun. That might be like, I don't know. That might be just like the game of the playoffs right there. All right. I think that's gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen. We went over a few playoff props, or excuse me, we went over a few player props today. We did our giveaway today. Hit me up in the Discord if you won. It's Big T and Vibes. Hit me up in the Discord with your Cash App, Venmo info, whatever you use, and I'll get those winnings over to you. We covered our winning slips in the Discord. Let you in on all the bread in the Discord, and then kind of kicked it off with this quote. I really like this quote. I did not entirely make this quote up, but I did kind of like fine tune it. Like, you always hear about knowledge is power, but the application of knowledge is powerful. So like, what's the good of having power if you're not using it? So you know a lot of shit, you can speak different languages, you're smart, but you're not applying it, you're not using it in your day-to-day. What's the point? So make good of all the skills you have. That is true. That to me is true power. And I think we'll end it on that note. Ladies and gentlemen, if you made it this far into the stream, appreciate you lasting this long. Hit the like button on your way out. If you haven't subbed up to the channel, consider subbing up to the channel and clicking that notification bell so you don't miss out on future content like tomorrow's live stream at 8:50 a.m., as well as our next giveaway that's usually communicated on my YouTube channel through post. Definitely posted in the Discord as well. Happy Friday to everybody. Hope your protected play works out well. I hope you profit. I hope we have maximum profit to talk about tomorrow and minimal turds to talk about in tomorrow's live stream. Wish you all the best of luck. And until tomorrow's player prop talk live stream, Chavez is out.